250 million years ago, the Earth encountered the largest mass extinction in Earth's history during the Triassic and Jurassic period. Currently, we are entering a new age of catastrophic events that can be prevented or prolonged to preserve the natural resources of the environment and essentially human life. The environmental movement understands this urgency. They concentrate on the inherent right of nature, which has become the bedrock of the modern environmental movement. This group is passionate about all things having to do with humanitarianism. The movement began in the United States in 1739 and is still successful today with a various amount of campaigns. The two environmental organizations that we concentrated on are Greenpeace and PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. Today, the environmental preservation has grown from what used to be only a philosophy into an international social movement.
Tick.
Tick. Tick.
Massive heat waves.
Heat waves. Tick.
Severe droughts.
Tick. Tick.
Tick. Tick.
Devastating.
Devastating
Tick.
hurricanes. Tick. Tick.
Tick. Tick. Tick. Tick. Tick.
Our future is up
Tick.
to you.
Tick.
Go to fightglobalwarming.com while there's still time.
Greenpeace is an environmental organization with offices in over 41 countries. Its headquarters is located in Amsterdam, Netherlands, with branches around the world that are continuously growing with the increase by public support. Greenpeace has made a distinct impact in dissension for environmentalism. Before becoming Greenpeace, they called themselves the Don't Make a Wave Committee. When Greenpeace started to become active in the United States, it was given its name by Phyllis Cormack. Greenpeace catalyzed the environmental movement by addressing the increasing problems in nature that correlated with human actions. Greenpeace has three major anti-campaigns, which include anti-global warming, nuclear power plant protests, and anti-whaling campaign.
PETA, or People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, is a worldwide nonprofit organization with a goal of maintaining animal rights. Founded by Ingrid Newkirk and Alex Pacheco, PETA is dedicated to establishing and defending the rights of all animals. They also want the public to understand their message of the fair treatment of animals. PETA demonstrates their extreme acts of dissension towards the public and government by showcasing unsightly videos describing the horrible conditions endured by animals, conducting protests in streets, and speaking out against animals being killed for food purposes. PETA will act by any means necessary to inform and get the attention of the public.
A group of animal rights activists made their stance on animal cruelty crystal clear today in downtown Spokane, didn't they?
They sure did. They stood naked at Main and Howard in coffins. Ladies positioned themselves in the wooden boxes and held signs saying, we would rather be dead than live in an animal's skin. The main goal of the gathering is to inform you of options besides wearing fur.
In the 21st century, there are plenty of warm, luxurious, and fashionable alternatives, so you can get that same killer look without killing any animal.
The alternatives they're talking about is faux fur, which is synthetic fabrics made to look like real animal pelts.
Everyone wants to fit in and feel like they belong, but sometimes you have to take a stand and step away from the crowd. I'm Leah Michelle for PETA, and this is Sailor. Animals used for fur, including dogs and cats, suffer horrible deaths because some people think it's okay to make a coat out of them. With so many fashionable, cruelty-free options available, there's really no excuse for joining a club that wears someone else's coat. Learn more at PETA.org. Thank you.
One of the most interesting aspects of the environmental movement is that it has steadily remained in the spotlight for the past 20 years and has continued to fascinate people who either believe in or question its true motives and beliefs. Both the general public, as well as celebrities, musicians, athletes, and politicians alike, have championed the cause. And while some may wonder if their involvement is based on genuine care and emotion, or the desire to be involved in the environmental fad, no one can deny the fact that the constant publicity, both positive and negative, has brought about change in the way that we treat our environment and our efforts as a pro-humanitarian society. The movement itself has even overlapped with and spurred acts of discussion and dissension amongst those involved in other movements, especially those championing women's rights, who continue to protest against what they believe to be PETA's objectification of women in their sexually charged anti-fur campaigns and advertisements. When you search the internet, look at advertisements, and even read articles in newspapers and magazines, you cannot help but notice an increase in the attention being brought to global causes and the fact that almost everything and everyone in our society is now centered on going green. Electronics, cars, makeup, and most household technologies are just some of the products being developed today that are focused solely on saving the energy and ultimately the earth. And everywhere you look, there is a celebrity speaking out against wearing fur, or a protester handing out pamphlets in the street describing the harms being committed against animals in laboratories and breeding mills around the world. And while some who consider themselves to be the most extreme members of the movement can still be described as radical, both Greenpeace and PETA, as well as other environmental and humanitarian groups around the world, set the tone decades ago and continue to make it okay for people to raise a voice and speak out against the atrocities being committed against the earth and its creatures, and ultimately our futures.
Come together.